Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now I'm going to do another album ranking video. I've been doing quite a few of those lately, and this time it's Swindon's XTC, who were active between 1978 and 2000. The main members were Andy Partridge, lead vocals, guitarist and chief songwriter, Colin Moulding, bass guitarist, lead vocals and I suppose second songwriter. Terry Chambers was the drummer, Dave Gregory guitarist, and Barry Andrews was on keyboards for the first couple of albums. Now they had 12 albums in total, but they had 2 under the name of the Dukes of Stratosphere, which I'm not going to rank. I find it very difficult where to put these. The Dukes of Stratosphere really were like a parody band of the 1960s. The 2 albums they did, well, the first one was actually a mini album, were actually very good. The first one being 25 O'Clock, and there's only 6 tracks off this, and the title track is really good. And the song The Mole from the Ministry could have sat perfectly on the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. It sounds a lot like Strawberry Fields and a bit of I'm the Walrus, but it is very good. But I don't want to count it because it's almost like a parody and I don't take it all that seriously for some reason. And the second one is Sonic Sunspot, which is another good album. Like the song Vanishing Girl could have come from 1966, any of those sort of bands. You're a Good Man, Albert Brown, sounds like a Cockney Knees Up, but it's still a good song. Pale and Precious is more Beach Boys than the Beach Boys, so it actually sounds like a Beach Boys song. But yeah, a good album as well, but I don't want to include it in my lists. So the 12 albums I'm including from 1978 to 2000, at number 12 I have Apple Venus 1. This is not bad, it's okay, but I think it's very bland. The opener, River of Orchids, is not a bad song, and The Green Man, which has got an oriental feel to it, which is the opener side 2, is pretty good. The singles were I Like That, which is fine, and Easter Theatre, which is fine, but it does include the dreadful Your Dictionary, which is an awful song. It's okay, but it's a forgettable one. The tunes don't stick in my head with this one, so it gets number 12. At number 11, and from 1984, is The Big Express. This is disappointing because it's got 3 pretty good singles on it. Wake Up, written by Colin Moulding, All You Pretty Girls, which is like a sea shanty, and This World Over, which is really good. It actually has a bit of a Police Regatta de Blanc feel to it, that sort of reggae type feel. And the song I Remember the Sun by Colin Moulding is okay, but there's not an awful lot on this that I like, and that's about it really. So it unfortunately gets number 11. At number 10, and we go to 2000, and it's Apple Venus Volume 2, Wasp Star. And this is a little bit more rockier than the first Apple Venus, however it's still quite forgettable. I like the I'm the Man Who Murdered Love, that's the single. It's the only one I can remember how it goes like until I play the album. Playground is a mid-tempo opener, which is not bad. We're All Light is probably the best song on the whole album, and The Wheel and The Maypole is a pretty good closer. 12 tracks in this, but it doesn't stick with me, so unfortunately it is number 10. At number 9, and I'm going to go with the debut, White Music from 1978. Yeah, a couple of singles off this. This is Pop, which was remixed for a single, and Statue of Liberty, which are very good. The opener, Radio's Emotion, is absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant XTC song. Do What You Do and Atom Age are real new wavy type numbers. New Town Annual in a Furnished Cage is a very jerky type of song, but it's not bad, and they do a version of All Along the Watchtower, which you have to hear to believe. You'll either absolutely love it or you'll absolutely despise it. I think it's actually quite good, you know, but it is, you have to hear it to believe it. It's an okay debut, but I think they should have put the single Science Friction on this because it would have enhanced it a good bit, so it gets my number 9. And number 8 is the follow-up to that, 1978, and it's Go To, and there was no singles off this at all, and it would have been better if they had put Are You Receiving Me on it. The first 3 songs off this are really, really good. Mechanic Dancing, Battery Brides and Buzz City Talking. The Crowded Room, which is a Colin Moulding song, is probably my favourite song off this. And then there's another one, Colin Moulding one, but called The Rhythm, which is really good as well. It's not a bad album. I Am the Audience is not bad either. Again, it's a Colin Moulding. This is probably Colin Moulding's best album, and there's a couple of Barry Andrews tracks on this. But again, if Are You Receiving Me had been on it, I would have enhanced it. I hate that cover though, I really do. It annoys me. I don't like it. So Go To gets my number 8. And at number 7 we have from 1992, and it's Nonsuch. Yeah, a very good album, 2 really good singles, The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead and The Disappointed. My Bird Performs is a great Colin Moulding tune. Omnibus, I think, really should have been a single. I think it would have worked really, really well. Crocodile is like a wee rockabilly number, which is really good as well. Bungalow sounds as if it comes from the 1920s. This is a very heavy vinyl, so it is extremely heavy. Yeah, as I say, Bungalow sounds like from the 1920s. I think it's excellent. War Dance is not a bad track with the sort of woodwind instruments throughout it. It's a good album. There was a 3rd single to be released, but it wasn't, and that was Wrapped in Grey, which is a great song as well. So it is quite accessible. I think it's a good album, double album, so there's a lot to take in. So that gets my number 7. And number 6, and another double album from 1989. This is an original one. It's half the weight. So it is. Yeah, this is not a bad album as well. Gardens of Earthly Delights is an opener, and it's a cracking song. It's sort of full of Indian sounds as well. Merely a Man sounds as if it could have come from Black Sea. Really, really good. 1 in a Million, very good, which is a Colin Moulding song. Poor Skeleton Steps Out, very good. Scarecrow People. The singles off this were The Mayor of Simpleton, which is a great song, and The Loving, a great song. Now the other single was King for a Day, which I do like, but it's one of my least favourite of the XTC singles. But overall, yeah, this is on a par with Nonsuch. I can really never work out which one I prefer, but for today I'm putting this in front. So at number 5 from 1983, and it is the album Mummer. And this starts off brilliant with one of my all-time favourite XTC songs, Beating of Hearts, which I think is fantastic. You have Love on a Farm Boy's Wages, really good. Great Fire, really jerky, but stick with it. It's a great song. I never liked it at the start whenever it was first released. Human Alchemy is a really excellent song. It does fall apart a little bit, I think, in side 2. And the sad thing is, if you had bought the single, the double pack of Love on a Farm Boy's Wages, there's some songs that would have sit better on this than the ones on side 2. B-sides include Jump, Toys and Gold, and I think the 3 of them should have been on the album, and a couple of the lesser ones from side 2 taken off. Ladybird's not a bad song as well, but yeah, it's a very good album, but side 2 is not as good as side 1. And at number 4 from 1979 is Drums and Wires, and this is the one with Making Plans for Nigel on it, which is a great track. My favourite track off this is Scissor Man. I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I love the way it goes into the instrumental sort of dub part. Reel by Reel's really good, and Millions has got great guitar in it. Day In, Day Out by Colin Moulding is one that I really do like, and Outside World, very new wavy. Helicopter, catchy as hell, really, really good. The American version of this includes Life Begins at the Hop, which I think should have been on this as well. But it's a solid enough album. Not every track works, but it is a solid album. And at my number 3, I'm going to give it to English Settlement. Now, I thought this was going to be number 2, but I've been playing all these albums over the past fortnight, and this drops to number 3. Side 1 is absolutely fantastic with Runaway, Runaways, Ball and Chain, Since Is Working Overtime, and Jason and the Argonauts. I love No Thugs in Our House, and All of a Sudden, Snowman, Yacht Dance, all great songs. But in the middle to end, there's a few that I'm not overly keen on, and I absolutely despise Melt the Guns. I really don't like it at all. It just gets on my nerves. And Fly on the Wall's okay. Knuckle Down is not brilliant. So apart from those sort of couple in the middle, it's a really strong album. And I was looking at the single version of this, which was released in other territories, and I thought there's no way Melt the Guns would be on the single version, but it actually opened side 2. I couldn't believe it. Don't know why they put it on, but yeah. Number 3, English Settlement from 1982. And my number 2 album from 1986, and it's Skylarking, and this is a masterpiece. This is really good. Season Cycle is absolutely beautiful, very Beach Boysy. The opener, Summer's Cauldron, Going Into Grass, is one of those segues that I should have put in a video I did about 6 months ago about segues. I should have put that in. It's absolutely fantastic. Earn Enough for Us would have been a great single. I don't think it was here. I think it might have been in other territories. Another Satellite is very atmospheric. Sacrificial Bonfire, Moulding's acoustic-y type number is extremely good. Yeah, I really do like this album. It kind of reminds me of the Kinks or the Village Green Preservation Society. I don't know why. This version here, which is the new version, includes Dear God, which wasn't on the original, which I think was a major sort of radio hit in the States. I don't think it did all that well actually in the charts, but it got a lot of airplay. But yeah, 1986 Skylarking, produced by Todd Rundgren. And my favourite XTC album, it's no real big surprise, it's from 1980, and it's Black Sea, and there's 4 fantastic singles off this: Respectable Street, Generals and Majors, Sergeant Rocket's Going to Help Me, and Towers of London. Really good. But 2 of my other real favourites are Living Through Another Cuba and Rocket from a Bottle. Absolutely fantastic songs. No Language in Our Lungs is great as well. It's a little bit slower, but a fantastic song as well. And Colin Moulding's Love at First Sight is very good. I would have loved the song Don't Lose Your Temper to be on this. I think it was like a double A side or a B side of Generals and Majors, but it wasn't to be. I love the crashing sound of this. It's, I think, a Steve Lillywhite production, but it's an absolutely brilliant album from 1980, and it's my favourite XTC album. Okay, that's my ranking of the albums. I'll show a couple of compilations that I have on vinyl. I bought this actually at the time in 1982, and this is the singles 1977 to 82, which is really good. It just includes all the singles. And if you bought this, you got this album here as well, which is Beeswax, which is all the B-sides, and that's where I heard the song Don't Lose Your Temper. And there's a few other really good songs off this. I always like Tissue Tigers as well, and I can't even remember half of these. Smokeless Zone. So you buy one, you get the other one free. But if you're looking for a CD, there's really only one CD you really need to buy for a compilation, and it's this one, Fossil Fuel, and this is a double CD of all their singles from 1977 right up to 1992, including Wrapped in Grey, which was withdrawn. And there's a couple, I think, of American singles as well, like Love at First Sight wasn't a single here, but it's included, and 10 Feet Tall as well, another Colin Moulding one I believe, wasn't a single here, but it's included. Really brilliant. I think there's about 31 tracks off this, and there's the 7-inch single versions as well, which I do like. So Fossil Fuel, it's available for peanuts. Okay, that's my ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. XTC, they're a band that I really like, but I have to be in the mood for them. I equate them to Talking Heads. When I'm in the mood for them, they're brilliant. When I'm not in the mood for them, they just get on my nerves. I don't know why, and lately I have been in the mood for them. So I must check Talking Heads and try them again and see if I'm in the mood for them, and if so, I'll probably do a ranking in their albums as well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.